Welcome, one and all, and are we all ready for the rise of fascism?
Wait, why are we saluting that?
Fascism.
I'm Lex.
I'm Hayes.
And I'm Trey. What do you mean? You mean? No, I understand. We're talking about the 47th again.
And real,
Well, I guess now. Yeah.
guys, we have another president in the White House. And
It's the same president.
it's not the darkest of times, it's the orangest of times. And it is
Black. Orange is the new black.
orange is the new
Orangest
black.
of times. I love it.
And it's not fun. I don't know when you guys are going to see all of this or whatnot, but we're talking about this now, and I'm certain about the time this comes out, a lot more stuff is going to happen.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
But
Absolutely.
kick us off. Things that Trump has put in executive order and things that already happened.
I was reading through that list.
ICE raids, trying to end birthright citizenship, which is insane. Executive orders to get rid of DEI mandates or programs or things like that, which is insane. I think there's like 120 executive orders he's done by now. So I can't go through them all, but most of them are racist. I couldn't roll my R's. And that's actually not even the problem at this point. Like, racism is the problem, but also there's so much going on that's like, I don't know, almost a given at this point. But even though I'm smiling for the views, I am sad on the inside.
Yeah, absolutely. So why don't we just dig down into it? Bring out one of the topics that we want to talk about because there's so many things to deal with. Just give us one and let's dig into it. What do you guys think?
Everything was terrible. The one thing I've been seeing more of the clips for, because I didn't get a chance to catch the inauguration, was the fact that I guess Elon Musk was doing the Heil salute, right? Which was
Nazi salute.
The Nazi salute, right? Exactly. And it wasn't just the once of hand to heart. I give it to the audience. It was quite literally a fast, expressive. No,
You don't have to keep giving examples.
That's funny.
Oh my God, no.
But that's what I'm saying.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So clearly, I'm not that. But I was doing one.
Gosh.
I was doing for context, and this is actually kind of good that we're actually doing this.
Oh,
right?
my Lord.
It's actually kind of good because for context, I'm using it as an example of what has been presented to the media already in expression to Elon Musk, right? And he did it twice on stage, one to the audience in front of him and then to the audience behind him.
To the flag.
Right? Right. Oh, and to the flag, right? And then I know that we're talking about how other presidents may have done a similar gesture, all right? Have not done it. No, and again, it's the effect of it, really. It's like, and how you present it, all right? I have seen those speeches that they were talking about, in which case they are not so much doing the Heil, but they're doing more of the, I guess waving to a crowd. How do you?
No, it's just that I don't want to do this because I've seen posts people talk about that's just a distracting technique.
No, I understand that. I do.
The reason why I don't want
but I want to at least explain it to the audience.
If I say hi like this, and I'm a videographer, Janelle's a videographer. If I say hi like this, and someone's saying hi to a crowd and you're above them, you could take an angle, it can look bad.
No, exactly. It's like you actually have photos of Barack Obama mid-wave, not even Heil, and they're saying, "Oh my gosh, he's done the same exact thing." It's like, no, he's not. There was a striking strike of a Heil on that stage. And it was like, how do you not?
To me, I don't think it's just
America.
I want to say this was the main thing. I don't think it's just the resemblance, though, because it's like, all right, that's debated. You can debate a salute or a thing in a position because that person can always be like, oh, I didn't do that. My angle was off. You can, but also, if you care about America, the country, Jewish population, people who have been through any type of oppression, because Nazis hated everybody. If you do that, and then someone's like, oh my gosh, did you do a Nazi salute at an American inauguration? My first response would be, no! Oh my God, what? Right. And then refute it. And he hasn't yet. He made Nazi jokes on X/Twitter in response.
My Lord.
And and also one last thing, because if people are debating, and I'll get into this because this is like personal enemy that I feel like people don't know as much. This dude also documented and wrote and is heavily involved in Project 2025, all that jazz. Is Elon Musk a Nazi or is this his accent? Doesn't actually matter, because I will say this is not a defense of Elon Musk. I don't think he cares. I don't think he's on the side of. I just think he's too much money, too much power, wants to do whatever he wants, is a troll, is a bad person, so he doesn't care. If we're talking about someone who I think is a Nazi, is Stephen Miller. That guy is evil. Stephen Miller is... if you guys don't...
Tell me more about Stephen Miller.
At some point, I'll put it up on like links and stuff, or like on our video. Stephen Miller is... I don't know. He writes Project 2025, but he also... If you've ever seen like a Sith Lord in Star Wars, he looks like a Sith Lord. You know what I'm talking about. He looks like Lex Luthor if Lex Luthor became Darth Vader.
No. We were don't talk about the Lex Luthor. Like every single one of those billionaires that were in the cadre of... If you actually saw everyone actually rushing in for the inauguration, like half of the billionaires that we already are aware of look like Lex Luthor just behind Trump. Like everyone seemed to have like a shaved head and a suit. Like I don't know what it is about billionaires having the need to be bald, right? But it's not a good look now, particularly if you have like this historic presidential villain being backed by these villain archetypes, you know? So it
did look very much like a Lex Luthor lookalike pageant. And it's unfortunate. You know, you guys talked about the other pictures, and you mentioned it being a distraction. So in other words, if I see a guy doing something that is legitimately bad, and then I throw a distraction out there, then we have people talking about the distraction more than the initial situation. And that's the problem, is because we you know, as human beings, we easily become distracted by, by things that are bright and shiny or whatever.
Like somebody's bald head.
And it's not good. I am trying my best to keep a good spirits.
Right.
It's very difficult. And I'd like to give everybody good spirits as well, because I'm one to believe that no matter what happens, humanity must survive. And I don't know.
Hot take.
And I think that your day-to-day, you going to work and this and the other, you be that person, you be that good person at your job, you continue to be that good person wherever you're at. And we'll get through these 4 years, and hopefully not 8 years, but we'll get through it and we'll survive.
No, I would imagine that most in America's minds right now is like the 4 years are going to come and go regardless, right? So it's more the fact, I guess, people who feel as if they might be on the chopping block. Like you said, in those ice raids, there are a lot of people that are literally, families are being broken up because of these things. You know what I mean? Absolutely. And I'm not going to say like, oh, they're not going to be able to resolve it after the 4 years are up, or like people are going to strive through and, find a resolution in spite of. That's never the question. It's the fact that it's like, why is this happening again? Now? Yeah. Why is this happening? Yeah. Right? Because like, even though, like, okay, I will say we don't know what the next 4 years is going to hold, right? I don't want this to be also thought of as any type of fear-mongering from our channel in any kind of way. We just know we see Trump as a bad president, all right? It could be your different opinion, whoever's watching on the other side, and great that you voted. At least you voted. That's fantastic, right? But nevertheless, we already knew what he was about.
Yeah.
What, 8 years ago?
Whatever it was.
Yeah, but so however long it was. So it's like, we're here now, right? Gird up your loins. It's a hell of a roller coaster we're about to be on, right? And then we'll just, brush away the dust when it happens, like when it's all done and done. But
if you want to stick with the conductors of that roller coaster, please like and subscribe with Varys and Fields with your host Lex.
Hayes and Fields second.
And Trey. I felt yoked by that.
Wow.
I wanted to put
that wasn't a segue. That was a complete.
Well, listen. I do want to add to this that we are still trying to grow our subscribers list, and you may be watching this now, and you may not have decided to subscribe. We're going to advocate for that you will subscribe, because it's a really, really helpful to this channel, and I think you'll enjoy some of the programs that we have day to day. So we're at right now 120 subscribers, I believe, and so we're creeping along, and we're getting there. But I need your help. So we need your help here. So please come on and subscribe if you get a chance.
Wow.
And speaking of help, I have an idea because I think the thing with everything that's going on with Trump and then it can be very sad, can be very scary for a lot of people. And I think scary is the main thing because people don't know what's going to happen. I will say the cool thing is we do have some guidelines. Project 2025 isn't not happening. Some things that executive orders already are aligned with things with Project 2025. So if you want an idea of what we think are going to look like for just expectation, please read up on Project 2025.
Can we also talk about the fact that even when he made his oaths of office, he didn't put his hand on the Bible at all?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I didn't think that was. Yeah, why? I'm sorry. It's just baffling to me that people are saying, no, he's going to be a man of his word, right? And he's, speaking and looking out for the little people, whatever the case may be, right?
A priest yelled at him. You guys not see that? Yeah. He went to, there was like a part of the inauguration was like going to church. A bishop yelled, well, didn't yell. A bishop literally advocated for him to have mercy. And grace. And this man essentially flinched.
Yeah.
It's like branding.
And it's almost, it's quite literally a rerun of what we did 8 years ago. Like, I remember, it's a lot worse.
Yeah.
Right? It's Donald Trump 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, this is
right. Speaking of Electric Boogaloo, apparently another one was reinstating the death penalty.
Another Boogaloo?
No. Executive order.
Oh, my God.
But, no, I was like,
that's dark.
Oh, my God.
I didn't get that.
Oh, my God.
Wow. Well, thank goodness you didn't get it. That's good. No, but like I just found it's I know in the first times he was in office, he was kind of like backtracking and trying to undo everything that the previous administration does. Now he is also doing that again, as well as trying to quite literally, like you said, mandate 2025. A lot of those things that read up, if you haven't read it, I'm sorry if I didn't put a link down. It is available online, and now I think there is a channel on YouTube that will read it for you. Look up Mandate 2025, right?
Project 2025.
Project 2025, but I think it's reads as Mandate.
It was something like that. Yeah, with Mandate.
Right. But yeah, no, it is. It's atrocious. We are aware of what it could mean if it's all written in black and white and all ordered out exactly, right? If this is exactly what their plan is for the next 4 years, yikes. That's all I can really say at the moment.
So let's talk about birthright citizenship. We were going to just talk to me about what it is, why should we be nervous of it, and, let's talk about it a little bit.
Okay, yeah. So essentially, this mainly applies to people who have immigrated to America or things like that, but also people who are considered illegal immigrants. What happens is if their child is born in America, then they're considered American, essentially. They get a birthright, all that. They get birth certificate, they can get Social Security, all that kind of stuff. This is supposed to stop illegal. It's all racist, so it's hard to be like what the executive order is supposed to do. Right. But the idea is to walk back people who've already lived here. So let's say your parents who came here maybe in the 90s were illegal immigrants, but established a way you actually got citizenship after, or like figured out the whole thing, or have lived out jobs or something. I said 90s, so let's say 80s or something, goes further back. And let's say you've been here for 20, 30 years of your life, whatever the case is, and you are here because of birthright citizenship. He's trying to pass an executive order where they could still remove you from your house and home, and
essentially all your citizenship at this moment is now in question because you were not immediately born in America. No, let's correct that a little bit. There are people that have been crossing the border for some time, right? And I'm aware that was one of his major concerns, right? Whether, like, the rhetoric has always been, these might be dangerous people, yada, 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 right? But nevertheless, to even say, let's walk all of that back means that your grandmother, who may not have fully completed every step of her immigration and to have full citizenship, now your grandmother, your mother, and yourself are now in question. So it can back away a lot of.
And also, it's like if you're getting to the idea of deportation, because that's what it's supposed to be, is deporting. But also, if you've lived here your whole life, deport to where?
Exactly, because your home is here.
So let's take it back a little further. This is the 14th Amendment. Yep. And the 13th and 14th and 15th Amendments was really those amendments that dealt with those who were enslaved at one time, and also women's rights as well. And at one point in time, there was a point where the Supreme Court had ruled that African American people could not be citizens. And so what happened is the 14th Amendment now kind of suggested now that you were born here, you can be a citizen. So it's not so much about the immigrant person, but the child that is born from that.
Right.
So for years, up until this point in time, we understood those who migrated here, and the child that they had on this soil was considered an American citizen.
Which makes sense.
Which makes sense, because if you migrated, if you sent from heaven, if you will, where did the child come from? The child was born, from, came from where? The child is born here. So now they want to undo that. And, but my biggest problem is that if I can diddle with the 14th Amendment, if I can mess around with it, if I can possibly, even put it on the table as a something that can be messed around with, we now can then look at other amendments. We can look at the 13th Amendment.
You can look at the whole Constitution.
You can look at the whole Constitution. This is just that when it's done with nefarious means, it's unsettling.
Right. Now people can never argue, it's unconstitutional. It's like, what does that even mean?
What does it mean?
What does the Constitution even mean if you can make a quid pro quo, some in between, or like some if you could change it? If you could change it. Like, what's it even stand for?
What's our time looking like?
No, we have about 14 minutes left.
All right. Perfect halfway mark. I am, for the audience and public, going to switch it up a little bit and give some positivity, because I think there's a lot of things going on, a lot of fear and anxiety and all that jazz. Especially I'm going to be dealing for 4 years, and I want our channel to be a place where we can, come together, congregate, and talk about all these things, but also give versions of ideas and not just like what's to worry about. And some things I've been offering people, which I also think is specific to this term specifically, is that we have to remember Trump is still an idiot. And that's important, because what happens is he has second...
That's hilarious.
He has power, he does all this type of stuff now, and that's a part of the whole fear-mongering thing, because we're so scared. He seems bigger than he is. He's still an idiot. He's still, old. And I'm just... But what I'm saying this is that there's a lot of stuff going on where... best way to say it is, we are unfortunately in, America's 7 companies in a trench coat, if that makes sense.
Wow.
It's an oligarchy. That,
yes.
Right? And that kind of thing. But people who are supposed to be in power with Trump is going to be like Elon Musk. Jeff Bezos was also there, things like that. People have billions of dollars.
Zuckerberg,
and all of them are selfish. And if you don't remember about his first term, people got fired. I legitimately don't think these people are going to work together. I don't think they can, because all of them are in it for themselves. And these policies, these executive orders are literally not policies. There's a difference there. Executive orders that they're putting out won't hold up. And I don't think Musk cares about Trump. I don't think he cares about the country. I think he cares about himself. And when you have government and institutions, they still have to go through some type of order, policy. Musk is in charge of something that's Dogecoin, which is a made-up department that is literally a pun, which I will give is hilarious, but dumb. And with that being said, we have to see, there are people who are fighting back, and there are people who are smart, intelligent, know how the law works, which he doesn't, and are going to still be defending. And, that's important to remember, with all this scary stuff, he's still an idiot. His friends in the department that are around him aren't friends. And you can remember that because from his last term, everyone that worked with him got fired, let go, and then turned around and said, oh, wow, he's a jerk. And that's going to happen again, because he's a jerk.
Again, I'm not so much concerned about how many friends he has on Facebook. Again, Zuckerberg, I think, is controlling all of that. All right. But I am saying, right, it's not about so much the idiot in the chair, but who's driving it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So if it is going to be him signing executive orders one after the other, he can just be pat on the back, have a friend for about 2.5 weeks, and then the one who's out for it for himself, right, could have an entire different, plan in place when they're signing the next thing that's passing his desk.
Yeah, but
right, what's the chance of him actually reading through all of this, other than okay, what's this about? Oh, you tell me a quick synopsis, and then just signing it off any which way because he looked like he was ready to sign immediately on the debt before it even opened up.
Well, that's the trick. That's the trick about power and pride because it makes everyone an idiot. And as much as we're scared and all that jazz, they're not the Illuminati. They want to be the Illuminati, but they're not the Illuminati.
Not very
if we're scared of people and worried about the smart people, look at Stephen Miller. Because Stephen Miller is an actual terrible person. And that's the person I'm worried about. Or J.D. Vance is also like, I can't call him an idiot. By the way, real quick, if you're racist and you want to go against people's rights, you're automatically dumb. That's just legitimately, logistically, if you don't care about other people and people's how communities work and communities make everybody thrive together, all together, and you're like, nah, forget all that. That's dumb behavior. Anyways.
That's good job.
But like, the thing I want to put out for the positivity is that something that I think we forget about, we pick the sides and all that jazz of Republican versus Democrat. We can get into that. But the main thing is, the idea of what the Democratic Party ran on recently, people are going to kind of be like shaky on. Right? However, I do think that's a good thing because everyone's like kind of shaky on Biden, but a lot of people did support Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders is all about it. And I always knew, or at least always felt, that Bernie Sanders, I'm kind of happy he wasn't president when Joe Biden was. Only reason being is that we had like January 6th, Bernie Sanders himself would have been out there on the lawn fighting. That would have been instant concession. I think Joe Biden did a good job trying to walk things back, trying to bring some peace and trying to level things out, which was essentially the job of what he had to do. Right now, this is a prediction from like 4 years from now. I promise you, AOC is probably going to run for president.
Oh my Lord!
And that's like Bernie Sanders' sidekick, and she's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman.
Oh my
and like, and I mean in terms of integrity, character, also, everything. But I'm saying beautiful in terms of the whole sense of character. And the reason why that's important is that talking about the 1%, talking about money, talking about understanding, lifting people up and being like, this is the actual problem. AOC and her whole coalition, which has like always been kind of pushed to the side by the major Democratic Party, is going to come up in spades right now. I think we're going to see that. We're going to see a lot more, minus the shooting, Luigi Mangione behavior in terms of like just understanding, eat the rich, understanding that power is, what is it? Money is evil, power is bad. I was on a roll for a little bit.
No, you're good. You're
good. Money's the root to all evil, essentially.
Right.
And power corrupts. That's what it was. But I think we're going to have a lot more people who understand that because even people who voted for Trump saw Elon Musk again, which is dumb, did a Nazi salute, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, maybe I shouldn't have voted this way." Which, too late now. However, that's what I mean by him being dumb. Even if you don't believe in it, it's like it's bad branding. If you want people to support you, don't do something that says, I literally don't support everybody else. That's what the Nazi salute is. The Nazi salute is akin to the middle finger.
Way worse.
A little bigger.
A little bigger than the middle finger,
Increase the middle finger by 5.
Wow. Well, to go a little further in reference to the what you said about things that give us hope. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, oh my goodness. Absolutely. I'm in total agreement with you. I love her energy. I love her ability to explain things in such simplified tones that people can receive, and she's just seems so real. Jasmine Crockett, same thing, with strength and with the ability to express and courageousness. Hakeem Jeffries, I like him too. That there are people, places, and things that are within our government that are people that are trying to do better. But more importantly, you, ladies and gentlemen, you are out there. You're the foot soldiers that we need in this day and time to speak of the things that are correct and right and good. Although we have our platform here, there are platforms that you can make as well. There are platforms in reference to TikTok. Speak your truths. Let people know. Now, mind you, you may be met with opposition. You may be met with negativity from people, but you have the opportunity in this portion of our lives to speak your mind. And that's what we want you to do. We want you to be able to speak your truth and let people understand that the good guys are outnumber the bad guys. And, we just have to make more of a platform for ourselves.
I like that.
Yeah, that's it. But it is, I'm so glad that you brought us to the positivity because we have to understand as people that we need each other. We need each other. We really do. So for us to be divisive, for us to separate one another from each other, that's not how we want to live. We want to find a way of finding commonality. And if we're able to do that, we can bridge those gaps that are existing, and we can do better. That's basically all I have there.
And on a community note, I think that's the best way to do it, because again, if people are scared or worried or just anxious, whatever the feelings are, don't worry about government stuff. Don't worry about because sometimes it seems very big. It's bigger than it is. But honestly, there's going to be those moments where we can talk about what's directly affecting you. And if it's directly affecting your friends and family, the best way to protect them and yourself is to protect your community. So whoever you believe is in danger or is a threat or whatever the case is, just remember, reach out to your community in any way. You don't have to be Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. You don't have to be starting revolutions every second of the day, because I know some people want to have the energy. If you're an artist, draw and do political cartoons or protest that way is essentially what I'm saying. If you're a chef, do your things and just cook for your family and your friends and do what you already love to support. And then even if you feel like you're anxious and you don't have anything to say, support others who are supporting others. And that's how you build a community. And that's what we need to do now. Protect those who need to be protected. And you do that by protecting not just yourself, but the idea of community.
Despite all the hate in the world, it's always nice to remember that there's always a community out there that's willing to listen to you, right? And not for the sake of hearing your own voice echoed back at you, but definitely more of the fact of there's always someone, in spite of all the anger, the animosity, the fear that's being pushed so everyone can be so, wrapped up in their own bubble. There's also enough people out there in the world to also be willing and strong enough to support one another as well. So I like that too.
Yeah. So listen, we're almost done. We're going to give you one more little bit. Everybody's going to go around and give you one last thing that we normally do at various fields. And we're going to say this. My last little thing is that love conquers hate. And we have to try to believe that. We have to try to remember that. So remember, if you are feeling tensed or nervous or anxious, or you feel as though you can't go to anyone, there's someone that's willing to listen to you. Don't harbor all those things that are inside by yourself. Recognize that there's someone out there that you can talk to in these trying times, and allow yourselves that freedom to speak to people.
Nazis are bad. That's not controversial. Don't forget that.
You're stronger than your situation. Always remember that.
All right. Well, I guess we seem like we got a couple more minutes left. I just want to make sure that we're all understanding that here at the Various Fields platform, we are here to build community. We are here to build the mindset that family is important. Conversing with your family is very, very important. I don't care if we sometimes may not all have the same exact thoughts, but if we speak to one another, we are able to gain a lot of ground. So we want to thank you once again for supporting us here. Please come back again next week. I think we're going to be continuing this topic on some ground. And I want to tell the boys, as I always do, I love you guys. To the moon and back. All right. And we thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being here at Various Fields.
Catch you on the next one.
Peace.